good morning. Back in it. It's been a few days, actually not yesterday or the day before I had to go to Newcastle to the hospital. The day before that I spent the day out here and didn't record it, but I've got this one done. That's the one that's going to go in the jib. And what I've done, and I'm going to do all of them, is I've just machined a bit of a relief there for the seam inside the pipe. Because there's no way on earth I'm going to get down in there to clear that out. So that slides in there nicely. That's going to have the pins in it. Let me come up to here. I've got this one. I've just got to finish this one. Well, what I worked out, when you weld them, even though they look fairly straight, once you start machining, they relieve themselves and they start to bend in all different directions. So what I do for the first side is I dial it, get it pretty close, machine a mill off it, turn it 90 degrees, dial it, machine a mill off it, then turn it over and have a flat device. So they are reasonably parallel. They're plus or minus, you know, about 0.1, which is, you know, like I said, I think what is happening is as you machine it, it's relieving, stress relieving, and it's bending. And when I weld these, like I said, I do them, I don't do a whole row. I might do one there, over the other side do one there, and alternate it until I get them all welded. This one still has a mil or so to come off it. So I'll machine that and I'll clear that. I'll get this one finished, and once I've welded up the other one and I start to machine that, I'll bring you back. Stay tuned. As you can see, it's bent in the middle. Not a lot, about 0.15, which is about 5/1000 of an inch for my American friends. So I'm going to skim that side now. Just take probably half a mil off it, then I'll turn it over and do the same with this one. And then do that. That'll give me then, there's two flat surfaces to do me parallel cuts. Just hang on 1 second. I'm going to go around and take 1 mil off each side. That should still leave me probably another mil to come off each side. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just going to turn this all the way over and take a mil off the bottom, so then I can measure this for size and for parallel. So when I've got them all done and nearly down to size, I'll bring you back. Alright, all machined. That's all through, and there's the jib. They're all, it's a neat fit. It slides in and out nicely. Same as that one. So what I've got to do now, next time I come out, is start prepping to assemble and weld it all together. So yeah, now we start to get towards the business then, hopefully. Like I said, it's dragged on a bit more than I anticipated, and I have thought of another thing that's going to be an issue, but that shouldn't be too hard to rectify. Just the pivot point on that jib. I was going to just put a bolt, drill a hole through there and put a bolt through, but it's a little bit thin. So I haven't got anything real big, but I thought I've got this. I might cut a piece of this off and mill it down so it fits down inside the 50. It's not far off. Like that, and drill a 20mm hole through it. So that one's not going to take a lot to do. So I'll do that also next time I come out. That won't take much. Yeah, and then this will be ready to start putting it together. Stay tuned. Well, good morning. Couldn't film the intro before because my son was out whippersnipping, doing the edges out there, and it was noisy as hell, so I thought I'll machine this first. It fits nicely. So what I'm going to do now is drill that out 20mm, and then hopefully this won't break. And then I'm going to drill 25mm about there, and then I'm going to slide that in, weld it, and that'll be that ready for the pivot. Then I can start putting it all together. I've just got to make the upright, but that won't take much either, so stay tuned for that. But let's drill a hole on that first, eh? Put a pilot through and then do it 20mm, and those bolts should fit quite nicely in there. So yeah, let's do it. Oh, once I've done that, I'll get the jib out of it and drill a hole through that as well, a 20mm hole. It's down there somewhere, So let's do it. Stay tuned. Alright, got those done, got that, so I'm just going to run a weld around in there. Around there I might even just put it in and just face a little bit off, just so it's flat. And I think then the last thing I've got to do is just make the upright. And I'll show you what I'm going to do when I get to that, but let me weld this up and then we'll come back. Right, I've got this all done. I did a bit off camera because I was losing it again as usual, because things weren't going the way I wanted them to. But I got it done. I was going to use a big R-clip, but it doesn't need it. Just a little lynch pin like that. And wash it there. They're flopping around, but they'll be bolted up against the upright and welded. Sort of about that much down. So yeah, that worked out alright. I had a bit of issues with the hole because I drilled the hole with the wrong drill, did I not? I used a 20 mil drill, but when I drilled the other ones, I drilled them with a 17 mil. So I had to try and drill it out, and because I'd already welded that in, I stuffed up a me 20 mil drill bit because it had hardened around near where the weld was. Then I jammed a end mill through it. I managed to get it through eventually, so it's rooted as well. So we're almost done for the day. I've got an appointment in town after lunch, and I'm going for a ride tomorrow. So Friday on Anzac Day, I'll be back out here at it, and hopefully now I'll be able to start assembling it and welding it together. It's taken me a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but that's just me. That's how it is. Yeah. Anyway, stay tuned and I'll see you next time. Alright, back at it again. I've done a little bit off camera. Made that. Welded those there, the stays. That's for the adjustment for here. So there'll be two of them. Two adjustables. One on the upright, which I'll do once I get these welded to it. I changed me, don't know if anyone's seen me short. I broke my other lead by dropping the steel on it. So $200 later, I've got a new one. So what I'm going to do now, once Mum goes home, I'm going to get the upright, cut it at the angle and weld it to the back, and then weld the upright onto it, then weld that to the upright. Actually, I might weld those to the upright first. And then do the legs. The last thing I'm going to do is put a brace. I've got to put braces from the upright to the legs, some forward braces, but that's later on. Hoping to get a fair bit done. It's been a bit slack the last week or two. I mean, it's a bit hard because I've had Mum in hospital, very sick. Then she out of hospital, they come up here. Mum's been here for a week with my brother, so makes it a bit hard to get out and get stuff done, and went for a ride, see my video. So yeah, so I'm going to get stuck into it. Just give me a few and I'll be back. Alright, got this welded on. And just, I can't hit that with paint, it's still too hot, but I've welded that on. As I weld, I'm going to hit it just with primer. And when I'm done, just for the sake of being able to use it in a hurry, I'm just going to leave it for a little while and paint it later. So, those welds didn't come out too bad. So, I painted that too. I did that the other day, welded that in, and then machined it so it's level. When I changed this earlier, I had a look, and probably lucky I went to put the wire, feed the wire through it, and it come unravelled off the spool, because that's all that's left. So I thought, screw it, put a new roll of wire on that I bought last week as well, so that's on. That'll do me for ages now. One roll, while I don't wear with this, between this project and Dion's shredder, it'll use a little bit of wire and a bit of gas, but for some reason they're supposed to be the same size bottle, but that one is a little bit lower. I've got a photo, I'll add a photo to show the difference in the height. It's supposed to be the same E-size bottle, but who knows. Alright, now once this cools down enough to paint, I'll give it a coat of primer. It's bolted into the vise. I'm going to put that in and run it, and then have a look to where these other two brackets have to go. Probably a bit further down, but I'm just going to mark it. I'll mark it on here. So yeah, so it'll have minor, like fine adjustments. I mean, I know one probably would have been enough, but like one adjustment. But you've got 4 holes, so you can micro adjust it, for want of a better word. So if you come up on, start on that one, then on the top here you can go highest is on there, drop down, drop down, drop down. Or if you want to come up to the top one on there, and that one there'll be as high as it'll go, and then you can drop it down a little bit. So I suppose you call that micro adjustment. It'll work. Either I'm just going to make sure once it goes in that this will go up high enough that I'm going to be able to lift up off the floor easily enough and high enough to manage stuff and to get it into the lathe or in the mill. If I can get it up to the lathe, that's the problem. But either is going to make things easier for me, so stay tuned. When I'm ready to start marking this, I'll bring you back. Alright, now I've got a little bit done. I made these. They're the stoppers for the legs, so when I screw them out I can lock them in place. I re-drilled one of them because I drilled it on the wrong side. I got the relief in the legs on the bottom for the weld seam, and one of them I drilled on the wrong side, so it's not going to make any difference, won't hurt it. I'll start getting ready to weld the feet on the bottom of that, but that'll be tomorrow. I should be able to get this near knocked over tomorrow, I reckon. Even putting those wheels on. Back ones are going to be easy, the front ones are going to be a little bit harder. I've got to work out how I'm going to mount those, but back ones will be easy. They'll go on the corners, and I'll put stiffener plates on the corners. Those back ones, those little ones there, they'll be fine. It's these ones that's going to be a little bit harder, but we'll make it work. I've got plenty of 4-inch flat bar there. I can just sort of weld it underneath the legs. They're not the legs. Weld them underneath, come out and up and out, and then weld the wheels underneath. So they'll sit like that. I know they look awful big for that, but I wanted capacity, so it is what it is. Well, good morning. Back at it for a little while today. I think all I want to do today is I want to get these welded on, because it's Sunday, and I've got things that I've got to go over and see a mate about putting my carport up. So what I'm going to do is weld that out. I'm going to tack it all together. It's level there, level there, across there, and it's pretty close to level. So look at this mess, look at it. Oh well. So yeah, that's, and I can feel underneath here, and I can feel it's level, and as long as it's level along there, which it is, so I'm going to go ahead and tack all that on. And then I think I might do the braces. I'll put the braces on. And I think that'll do for the day. I think I'll call it a day. Then I'll put the feet in it and I'll sit on the ground and make sure it's all level. Yeah, see how we go from there. Just hang on a sec. Once I get this done, I'll bring you back. I've got these cut. They're for the top. I've ground that down, so what I'm going to do is weld those onto there, and then I'm going to weld the wheels onto there, and that's going to act as a stiffener or strengthener. And these I cut a bit longer, they're going to go underneath, so they'll stick out a bit wider but also a bit longer, so that'll give it more strength. I'm even tempted to cut the L shape out of it. So, yeah, I'll see. Anyway, I'm going to get these welded on, get the wheels on, and then turn it over and see what I'm going to use for a brace. Something that's going to look alright. I don't think I've got any decent flat bar. I've got some more, well not the 50, the 40mm. I might make a couple of 40mm braces for it, just to come from here down to the leg there. I'll show you now when I turn it over. Hang about for a sec. Alright, I've got this far. I've got those welded in. Welds didn't come up too bad. They're welded all the way around. I've got these, I just chopped that out so that looks a little bit nicer. And I thought, I've got some 25mm round bar, so I've chopped it, so I'm going to weld that in. That should do as a brace. So I'm going to weld this out now. I'm not going to put those legs on today, the wheels I should say. I'm going to weld this out. I've got to put it on this, because it's getting too hard to do on the bench because it's not big enough. And that is actually a welding table, it's not an assembly table, so I'm going to weld that out and then call it a day. I might even sit on the floor, put the jib on it and the upright, and leave it at that, and then I might edit this video and get it up, since it's been a little while since I've done one video of me making anything, so it's noisy. So the Grumpy's watching, he's making sure I do the right job. Yeah, so let me weld that out and we'll come back and have one last look. Well, good morning. It's been a few days, and I'll explain why. I have done work here. You'll probably see between this now and last time I signed off. I got really angry with myself for several things, for doing stupid shit. You know, I said in the video earlier about this, where I put the wheel on the wrong end of this. Well, I didn't, because it's not supposed to go on this. I end up welding it on that end, as you can see. I cut it off, because it's got to go on this part of the jib that slides in and out. Now, I got that angry with myself. I just give it away for a day, come back out, and then got into it again. I didn't do anything yesterday because I hurt my back again, but I'm back into it today, and I should get it finished today. But what I did last time when I came out is I made the pins, so I've got all the pins done. That's for, what's that one for? Oh, that one's for this, yes. That one goes through there, like that. So I've got it all made. This is done. I've just got to chop a little bit out of here, which won't matter too much, because it'll only reach these first two holes. The angle's too tight. But that's fine, that's not going to affect the strength of it, the upright, because it's be pushing this way, not the other way, or it'll be pushing straight. And one side's still going to be fully welded, so I've got this finished properly. That's fitted. That's for me cable, for me hook. This here, I got pissed off because I couldn't get the legs in. They're in at the moment. They're in as far back as they're going to go, because I don't really need them to go any further back than that, because they will come out quite a way. But I don't know if I showed you that. I made those as well a couple of days ago now. Couldn't get them in because I welded this, and this is another thing I got a little bit pissy about, because I welded this straight to the top of this, and I thought that'll be fine, but what it did create was the issue where I couldn't get my leg in because the penetration through there, I couldn't get it off. You see, I don't know if you'll see that, I tried to get a scraper in there, a high-speed steel scraper, and chisel off, couldn't do it. And then I thought, well, you idiot, when there's weight on it, this little area here is going to push, it's going to dent this and create more problems. So I cut that out and I welded some 10mm in there. So I only welded straight down the sides because that's all it needs. Didn't want to weld the ends because I didn't want to create the same issue. So then they go in fine now. I've machined more off these. I had my tolerances a little bit too fine. They don't need to be as tight as they were, so all of them I've machined another 1/4 mil, I think it is, off each side. So I've done quite a bit. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wheels on, which I might do first before I do too much else. I'm going to make handles for here. So, you know, I can lock the back wheels and then slide the front wheels out. It's going to be easier than trying to grab it here and pull it. So I'm going to put a handle on it. And the wheels, and then once I get that on, I'm going to make the mount for the hoist on top, and it'll be done. And then I'm hoping to get it painted today as well. So I'm going to primer it all. I went and bought some more primer, and then I'm going to paint it this ultra cover. Yeah, so it's supposed to be, he said it's not real good on galvanised steel, but I'm going to be primering it, so he said that won't matter. Paint it red, it'll be like my engine stand. And here, just for visibility reasons, because it's easy to look out of line of sight, is to paint this yellow. So I'll just take that off and paint all that yellow. I might even do that with the end of the wheel mounts on this end, because that way it's something that's going to catch your eye, you're not going to trip over it. So let me get this sorted, get rid of all this, and I'll see if I can turn this upside down somehow, and I will get it ready to start welding the back wheels on. I'll do those first. And then I'll need to sit it on the floor so I can pack it and measure how high I need to make it for the front wheels, because they are bigger. So stay tuned and I'll bring you back in a second. Alright, now I've got it clamped on, both of them. I'm just going to weld them on now. I'm going to do something that I don't usually like doing, and that's videoing the welding, but I'll see what I can do to, in my editing program, to you know, take the flare out. I'm going to get new gloves. I don't like wearing thick welding gloves. These are riggers gloves, and a lot of places won't allow you to wear riggers gloves, but as you can see, I was welding the other day and a bit of spatter went inside the glove and burnt the shit out of your hand. So, but I can't, those other gloves are too thick and I find them too hard to work with. So riggers gloves. The only thing you've got to be really wary of is they don't protect your hands from the heat quite as good, and if you sweat or they get damp and you get close to weld, they will shrink. So let's get these on. They're coming up all right. Hopefully I'm not blinding people. It's a little bit spattery because of the galvanising. Take note. So be careful, I don't want to get too much heat into it. Oh, I already have, but they sound gritty already. I might have to blow that out. That sounds crunchy still. I'll flush it out with some WD-40. That one's not too bad. Right, what I need to do now is I'll put this on the floor. Bring it back out. Put this on the floor. That one's still a little crunchy, but I don't want to spray too much around there yet until I paint it. That one's not as bad, but it's still, I can still flush it out. There's not much of seal there, so they're designed to work, you know, whatever. And considering it's only going to be in here, so it's not going to move very far, and that's not the heavy end. So let me get it on the ground and pack it up, and then we'll work out what we're going to do with the front wheels. Yeah, because I'll have to put the legs back in it so that I can measure up and work out what I'm going to use and how I'm going to do it. Stay tuned. Righto, that's close to level there, and as you can see, the wheels are a little bit higher. I could have probably jacked the back ones up a bit more, but I don't want to make it too high off the ground. It makes it sort of a bit more unstable. So, alright people, I've had an epiphany. I forgot I had these wheels. These are smaller than the other ones, and they're actually stronger. I think these are rated at 350 kilos, and because they're solid cast steel. So I actually got these for Dion's shredder. There's no drama, I'm only going to steal 2 of them and I'll go and buy 2 more. So that'll do the job just as efficiently and not quite as big, and it won't look quite as ugly. So what I've come up with, I'm going to weld that on to there. It's hard to hold, but I'm going to cut that to 40mm, so that'll go across there. And I'm about to cut these, I've measured them, and these will go down the side there. I don't know if you can see that properly, and that'll go down the side like that, and it'll be welded top, bottom. This is only, as I say, I've only got this piece of scrap here to just as a, you know, as a guide, as a template kind of thing. So yeah, it'll sit like that. These will be cut and then they'll be tapered down there. I don't know if you can see that properly. I'm sorry if you can't. I've got no room where I'm working here. I need to be able to see the screen on the side of the camera so I know what I'm pointing at. So I've got to jam the camera between me and the workbench, and it just makes life hard. So, and I've got to cut, actually I might cut one of these in half, use that and then cut another piece off to run down the back. So whatever I've got left over down here, it'll be on top, so it'll be welded all the way around. So that's going to be more than strong enough to hold 500 kilos, I feel. So what I'm going to do, because these are a little bit wider than I need them, but I want this to look good, so I'm going to cut these with the grinder. I can't do them in the saw. I looked at different ways, but there's too much gap between the vise on the saw to be able to hold that successfully and cut it off. It's too much, and I can't lay it down because I can't get it to stabilise that. So I'm just going to cut it with the grinder, take it down and mill it. And once I've cut them, I'll bring you back and we'll go down and have a look at while I'm milling these, and I might even tip them up and mill. Jesus, I'm an idiot. Sorry, people. So I'll stand them up and cut my angle across there. So yeah. So just hang around and I'll bring you back shortly. Stay tuned. Righto, let's do it. all done, and that'll be enough. It's 26mm I took off from the point, so that'll be fine. I'll just round those ends over a little bit, take the burrs off, round those a little bit. Then we'll go down and I'll pull one of those legs out and sort out some stuff, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to start putting it together. Alrighty, here's what we got. I'm going to clean these up properly. My lynching belt exploded on me the other day and scared the shit out of me. So I've only got the grinder to do it, and I'm just going to use a flap oil when I'm done. But that's what I was going to put a piece down in here, but that sort of bled like a stuck pig there earlier. So you get for holding onto nuts or bolts that have been cut for grinder and try and undo them with impact wrench. They spin around and slice the shit out of you. So what I'm going to do is clamp that on there, tack it all together. Well, actually I might tack it all on, because I can put that wheel on last of all. So, no, actually I'm going to tack it together. Just use this leg as one of the legs I pulled out. Tack it together, and then I'll lift it off and do the other one. So all we do is pull the other leg out, stick it up here and weld everything onto it. So, yeah. Anyway, let me get into it, and I'll bring you back when I finish tacking it together. Righto, let's have them tacked together. They should just fit over nicely. So what I'm going to do now is weld that all together. Like weld it out, weld down on the insides, across the top. So all around, weld everything. Yeah, and then I'll weld it onto there, and then I'll weld the wheel on. So once I weld that on, I can put that one back in, so I can take that hammer out of there to get that other leg out. So I put that leg in, it'll sit on 3 wheels for now. Yeah, and I had pulled one of the other wheels off because I realised I had a brake wheel and a non-brake wheel. I don't really need brakes on the front at all. I do get the other ones with brakes, but as long as I've got the two at the back, they'll stop it moving. So I guess I'll pull the other one off. Got it ready, so it's all sorted. So let me weld these out, and we'll come back when we're ready to put it onto there. Alright, I've got that one welded and it's clamped on there. I'm going to now tack that welded out, and then put the wheel on it and weld it. So once I've got the wheel on, get this all welded and get the wheel back on it, I'll bring you back. Stay tuned. Rightio, there we go. Wheel's done. They slide in and out nicely. The thing moves nicely. It's good. That's probably, those wheels are back. I probably wouldn't mind having them back a little bit further than that, but lifting 500 kilos, you don't want the thing too short, do you, really? So the only issue I'm going to have is storage, but I'll work something out. Once I've finished this, before I get right into Dion's, I'm going to clean this place out fully. I mean, you know, like the place is just a fair pigsty, as it usually does when I get stuck into something or when I'm having problems. I tend to start putting things wherever I can find a space for them. So that rolls nicely, and it seems to be square on the ground, which is a bonus. So now I'm going to make the mount for this. The only problem, well, it's not really a problem. I want this to be in the centre of the jib, but you got all that weight offset. So I'm going to have to try and make a bracket. I've got these are the brackets that come off it. They're 46mm, which is too small for 50 and too big for 40, and you can't really crush them because they're the same size. But I'm going to use the 40mm to make the mount for it, and I'm going to cut this, a bit of scrap, and put 3 pieces in it and weld to it, so it'll take up that size. I mean, it won't matter if it's, as long as I can pull it tight against the mount, because I don't want it to move sideways, because that's where they bolt there. One bolt's there, one bolt's there. So it's just that offset weight that's a bit of a worry. And like I said, I want the drum to be in the centre. I don't want it offset, because what it'll do is when it's rolling the cable up, it'll pull it hard up against one side or the other. So it should cope. I mean, it's not going to stick out sideways that far. It's going to tip the thing over. So it should be fine. Let me work something out. I'll start cutting some stuff up and I'll bring you back. Alright. And here we go. Finished. Well, almost. I've got the that I might have to cut that off. It's just the weight that goes at the end of that, but I can't put it on there, so I'll see. I might leave it. And we've got it in the middle, and those, as I said, welded the bits on there, and that clamps tight. That's not going to move anywhere now, so yeah, I'm happy. Got the you know, bracket strengthener here, and it's just behind centre. Well, it's mounted just behind centre, so the weight's pretty much over the top of the arm there. The other thing I've got to do tomorrow before I paint it is I'm going to shorten all those cables, because I don't need it that long. I'll leave a little bit, either that, or I might just tidy it up a bit better than that and just put something there to stick that in. And I'm going to make a handle, one that I can sort of lift up and slide in, move it around, pull it out and lay it down. So that won't take long. I'll do that in the morning. Those welds didn't come out too bad for a flunky. A little bit of spatter, but I even sprayed it with bloody spatter guard, but yeah, not bad I suppose for a part-time welder. Yeah, and that's going to clear that. Well, it might just rub, but worst case scenario is I'll take that off and weld that into the top there. It should be fine, I think. Either I'll just slice part of that off, or put a bit of what do you call it? Teflon. That's it. That stuff there. Just for the cable to slide over, so it doesn't slide on bare metal. It won't take much to make something just to sit over the top of that, because it's not going to get used a whole lot. If it was used daily and a heap of times, then I'd do something a bit more about that. But yeah, the cable's still a bit stiff too, so I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. It's nearly done. Well, it's functionally, it's finished. I can use it now if I wanted to. But what I'm going to do is, as I said, sort out a handle, put a handle on the back of it to make it easier to move around, and just something to hold the pendant. I might just tie that cable up, because that way if I need to move forward a heap I can. It doesn't really need that stainless wire. I might remove that. That's just a bit, makes it look untidy. I don't need it because that pendant's not going to hang, so I'll tidy all that up tomorrow first thing, put the handle on it, and then I'll pull it apart and paint it, drag it outside and paint it. So rather than finish the video and just leave you hanging before you see how it looks finished, I'll finish it first and get the video up. I chopped a little bit out of the back of there, as you can see, so it doesn't hit anymore. Yes, and that's fine because it's all compression weight, so that's going to hold that just fine. Yeah, and that's back as far as the jib goes, and those wheels could probably only go back probably another 3 inches, another 2 inches, if that. 50 mil, sorry, for my metric friends and my American friends, 50 mil. So that'll be pretty much perfect over the top. Like your legs, I mean, wheel's going to be just a little forward of the hanging point. So that's how we want it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. It took a lot longer than I thought. Much longer, but you can't help things, family. You know, my mum was in hospital there for a while, and that sort of put things up in the air a little bit, and then she actually come out of hospital and come up and stayed here for a week and a half, and that makes it hard when your mum's here. So, but I got it there, and it's going to be functional. As I said, the only problem going to be is finding somewhere to put it. But once I clean up in here properly, I should be able to find somewhere to stash it, lower that boom down, and stash it out of the road in here somewhere. If not, I think I designed it so it'll fit out the doorway. So I could take it outside and buy like a barbecue cover and throw a cover over it. I'll work something out. But I made it to use, and it shall be. So, yeah, alright, stay tuned. See you when I come back tomorrow. Alright, there we are, finished. I did a bit off camera this morning because I think this video is already getting too long. So I made that, put that in. You can see it's welded on. That just sits in there nicely. The handle, which is still a bit hot. But if we do this, that's why I put the chain so I don't lose it. And it's still hot, so it's just got to be, and then that'll fold down like that, out of the way. So it's a little bit of a up here it's straight, but when you drop it, it looks like it's kicked off a bit. That could be this. I might have machined one of these is a little bit out of kilter. That's okay, it's going to do the job, and no one's going to see it but me. And when it's out here, it looks fine. Yeah, I'd say I've welded that on with a little bit of a twist in it. But you get that when you're trying to do the thing, you know, hold with one hand, tack with the other, and weld it out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to duck inside for a little while. I'm going to come out and strip it, take everything off it, clean it up and paint it. Do that out the back where it's sunny and where I won't choke on the fumes in here. So it's done, finished. Look at that. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I thought I was going to make it so you put these back in the hole when you're done, but knowing what I'm like, I will lose them. I didn't have an R-clip small. I've only got big, huge arse. Where is it? They're the only R-clips I've got, and it's a little bit big for that. It'll work, but it'll just look odd. So you know, that'll come out, and I can stand here or move sideways. I've tied it up, took that stainless steel cable off, tied that up, so that'll be, oh, well, it must have been a little bit in the capacitor, in the engine, in the motor I should say. So that's done. Once I get this out and start painting it, I'll bring it back and have a sticky beak. I want to get this done today, get it reassembled and get this video done. It's been way too long, so stay tuned. Alright, it's all assembled, ready to party. The painting is a little bit ordinary in places, but you get that. It's only for me. It's only going to be in my garage. If I was doing it for someone else, I'd be a lot more careful with it, but there we go. It's all plugged in. It's got a slow start when you go down, when you push the button. When you go up, it's just one speed, so it's kind of weird, but anyway. Yeah, that cable's still a little bit stiff. I'll do a fully extended and a fully packed up shot. Just hang on a sec. Alright, and that's fully extended. I could probably go a little bit further with those legs. So you see one side's not out as far as the other. I might pull it out and put a grind mark in it so we know we're full extension, because otherwise you're going to leave yourself with no strength. But as it is, I mean, that'll have 500 kilos. I wouldn't lift that in that position. I mean, it'd be probably plenty strong enough, but as you can see, the end of that is not sticking out past the wheels, so that's what we want. And that can go up a little bit higher. Only 2 more holes there, but that'll only be, you know, probably lift that up another 3 inches. 75 mil for metric people, 3 inches for my American friends. So there we go. I should hang something on that. Just hang on a second. Alright. Got that diff center down there. So I don't have the brakes on that. That's pretty bloody heavy. So that's the size you can lift that, but so I've got no way, unless I can move that stop switch, but I don't think I can. Well, I might be able to. That might be for another time. Take this off, take the switch out, or just unscrew it and rewire it, because it doesn't need that. That's actually useless there now. So, but there we go. And as I said, it's odd because when you lower it, it's slow and then fast. Just watch when I press this. Just for a second. I mean, I could shorten that sling up a heap too, but you know. Hey. Let me, I'll get this out of. I'm just going to push this over now so I can get a photo for my thumbnail, and then I'll drop everything down and pack it so it's like it would be when it was packed away. Hang about for a sec. And there we go, packed up. Still got a little bit of a footprint to it, but that's fine. I'll find somewhere to stash it inside. If not, I'm going to find a spot outside and I'll throw a barbecue cover over it. So it's the handle down. You can see my shitty paint job. You get that. Same there. So yeah, that packs up alright. The only thing I might need to do is work out something for the brace. For now, well, it should be alright with that. It hangs on there. Okay, so and then I could just put the handle in. Sorry if you can't see that. And just put it in wherever I want. That wheel's pretty good. And it's not back heavy, because as you can see, the motor's just forward of that, so it won't tip backwards. But what I was just looking at when I was showing the wife, to lift heavier things, so I can pull the feet back a bit, I might make something that'll clamp on there, sit out the back, so I'll put weights on it. I've got some bits of railway sleeper, well, not railway sleeper, idiot, railway line, railway track, that I can cut. Well, I already cut, and I've got some more out the side, so I'll cut that up to put counterweights on it, so that if I need to reach the jib forward in front of the line of those front wheels, then I can counterbalance it. So I think I will do that, but not today. this is going to do. I'll do it later. I want to get some more work done on Dion's shredder because that's been way too long in the coming. So I apologise for that, mate. Lots of things going on at the moment, and yeah, it's only got worse this morning. So, but I'll keep that news to myself for now anyway. So anyway, here's what it is. So, you know, like I said, I apologise for taking so long to do this bloody thing. There's been so much going on. Issues, me screwing things up, mum being sick, and just, you know, my headspace has not been good. And then Easter, and mum came and visit, and now mum's back in hospital, so it is what it is, eh? But thanks to those who've hung around. Those, if you're still here watching, leave a message, say hello, say something, just to let me know that you're still here. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, as always, stay safe. Peace.